In this video, I will be discussing the ways you need to approach purchasing a CPU for the purposes of building a PC gaming computer. This video correlates with my focus on my website because the website's just all about me. My high school years, my hobbies, and my major in college. My major is Management Information Systems, which is, computers and business administration kind of put together. And one of my main hobbies is playing video games specifically on the computer. So put that together, this all kind of works. So you're looking for a CPU on for the purposes of PC gaming. First thing you need to think about is your budget. Your budget is end all be all. If you have a budget of $500, you can purchase yourself a 6900 a 69 60X, and you're good to go. I mean, you'll have 10 cores, and you've got, I think it's a 3.5 4 gigahertz processor. You can do basically everything with it. But you're probably not one of those people. You probably don't have, well, actually, it's $1,700. You probably don't have that much money to spend on a processor. Probably, if you're a normal person, you probably are going to be spending from about $100 to $300 on a processor. So, put that in your mind. About $100 to about $175. AMD. AMD is the brand to look at. Specifically, the AMD 8350, 8370 series processors. They're 8 cores, about 4 gigahertz speed, but the engineering, the architecture behind them is old, about 4 to 6 years old. So you think about that, you're not going to be able to, all you'll be able to do is to game with them. Those processors aren't very good for engineering or video editing on the high end when you have to extract 4K 8K videos at high bit rates, stuff like that. That's not really you can do a lot better than that. Heck, a Core i5 quad core with hyper-threading would be better than that because of its cache. But from about $175, $100, AMD is the way to go. From about higher than that, you've got a slew of options. You can go Core i3s, you can go Core i5s, heck, you can even go Core i7s in the $300 to $350. Intel, after $175, Intel is the main option. You shouldn't be looking for AMD processors after that budget. Now, this is pre-Zen architecture, so what I have to say, after Zen comes out, after their AMD's new processors come out, is not at all relatable. This is all useless after that, because I have no idea how that's going to come out. But let's look back at Intel. You've got a slew of options, and really the best way to approach this is going on to PCPartPicker.com and click System Build. And what you'll find is on this website, it will literally show you every single processor on the market on the websites that this website is choosing from. So, I mean, it's got everything. Literally everything. If you think everything, they do have everything. So, I mean, you can click sliders, go around, but budget. Budget is the most important. So, you look at your budget, and, let's say your budget $300. You've got Core i5 4690Ks, that's the old Haswell. You even got Xeon E3s, E5s, and E5s, E3s, but do not go Xeon. They're not overclockable, and they're not designed for gaming as well. I mean, I say that, I put asterisk on that, but let's just go back to our processors. Another thing about gaming is you want to look at processors with Ks on it. 4790K, 4690K, that means it's overclockable. So back to budget. At $300, you can pick up yourself a Core i7 4790K, which is an older processor, but still good to go. Or you can pick yourself a Core i7 6700 with no K on it. That's up to you. That is for another moment. So you got your budget. Let's say $300, Core i7s are the way to go. Now, after budget, we need to look at what else are you doing. Are you just gaming or are you doing other things? So for example, video editing, you want to have as many cores Intel wise. You probably want to spend a little more money on it too, because you can really extract those videos very quickly if you got more cores. More cores and as also higher frequency. So, for a Core i7 6700K may not be enough if you really need to extract videos at a timely speed with very, very high resolutions and high bit rates. So you got that. You've got the need to look at video editing, but also you must think that AMD is not an option at all for those. Go Intel. Spend the extra money to go Intel if you have to. Now, we've looked at budget for specifically for the CPU. We've looked at the other things that you may need to do, but also you got to think about your overall budget and what you have. Your overall budget. You should be spending more than 20% of your budget on your CPU, because the CPU isn't the main decider in performance. The GPU is actually more of a decider of performance than the CPU. Most of the performance aspect is in the GPU. When you're playing games, almost all of the needing for performance and for pulling files and showing them on the screen is going to go through the GPU. The GPU in gaming is most likely going to always be at 100% load when you're playing high performance. The CPU, if you look at your Windows Task Manager tray and go into the performance, you're probably not going to be running 100% if you've got a 4-core processor. But it's good to have it, because 2 years down the line, there'll be new APIs, there'll be DirectX 13 in, say, 6 years, and you'll have new ways to be able to optimize performance. And so you got to think about budget in the overall budget. Now, you also got to look at your GPU. If you already have a GPU, got to think about what you have. If you got yourself a GTX 980, you can be free to think about going to Core i7 6700K, you'll be fine. But if you've got yourself an old GTX 660 Ti or 650 or 750 Ti, you really shouldn't be spending too much money on it, because your CPU at some point is just going to be sitting idle while your GPU is just going to be swamped with all of this power trying to be pushed through. So if you've got a 750 Ti, you really shouldn't be spending more than $200 on your CPU, because it's just going to be wasted performance and wasted money, as those GPUs aren't very powerful as it is, and adding a very powerful CPU is just going to be wasted power, since the CPU isn't the main decider in performance. So we look at all this putting together. Your CPU isn't the most important factor, but you should spend some money on it. And if you do spend more than $200, you should think about getting a Core i7. But when you're looking at budget, go on to PCPartPicker.com, kind of go look around, look at budgets, look at what you can get, and look for the latest architectures. Haswell, Broadwell, and Skylake are the 3 Intel architectures that you should be looking at. Haswell, Broadwell, and Skylake. And Broadwell E and Haswell E. Those E's mean the higher end, the 6-core, 8 cores, 10 cores, which are awesome. But you also need to look at reviews. You need to look at, data charts and reviews and things like Tom's Hardware and other things like that to make sure you decide on the perfect processor for you. I definitely don't know everything. So that is what you need to decide. After that, go to your store, go to different stores, go to PCPartPicker.com, find the place that sells the best price, look for rebates, look for, every kind of price deal you can get bundle deals, if there's a place like Micro Center that does, purchase a graphics card and a CPU together, you get a 10% off your overall price or stuff like that, do it. That's all I have to say. Just, your main budget, your CPU budget determines it. Remember, 20% of your overall budget or less than 20% of your overall budget should be spent on your CPU, but not more than 20%. And you need to be looking at your GPU, also your RAM. If you've got 4 gigs of RAM, you need to upgrade that first. So you need to look at your current hardware and make sure you're not putting an overkill processor. Put that all together, and you should be good to go to purchase probably your first CPU. That's my video project. I hope I got everything right, and thank you very much for watching. And whatever the grade is, that's how it will be.